Right, today we're going to show you how to wire the wireless rain sensor to your timer and get it set up. This comes with both a sort of hub, which is wired to the timer, and then the wireless module, which is mounted somewhere on your house, and they communicate by radio frequency. So this part we're not going to need for this section, we'll just set that aside. Here we've got just a standard orbit timer. And this process is pretty much the same for all orbit timers. You may have a different brand of timer, and in that case you're going to need to refer to the actual instructions for that timer to see how to wire a rain sensor. This sensor should be compatible with many brands, but the wiring layout is sometimes a little bit different depending on what you're using. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we have a timer, and the first thing you want to do is make sure you unplug the timer so you don't have any power going to it. If it has a battery backup, that's fine. You can leave that in and maintain your programming, but you definitely don't want any current from the wall power coming through. So once that's unplugged, go ahead and open your timer. In here you'll notice we have a few ports. We have two sensor ports here in yellow, and we have two 24-volt AC out ports in orange, and we're going to need to use all four of those in this case. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this jumper wire. Now this jumper wire needs to stay in place anytime that a sensor is not in use. Otherwise you're going to get a fault or a malfunction with the timer. So let's go ahead and remove that. You just lift up on these terminals and pull out, and that'll come out. Probably set that aside for use at another time. If you lose it, you can use any standard little wire to jump that section. Now here on the receiver, we have 5 different wires. We have 2 reds, a yellow, white, and green. Now in the case of wiring this with any orbit timer, the green wire will not be used at all. We include that so it works with some other brands, and if you have one of those brands, it will state so in the instructions that wire needs to be used and how to install it. But in this case, pretty simply, the 2 red wires go to our 2 24-volt out, and then the white and yellow go to the 2 sensor terminals. So let's go ahead and just feed those through the port there, and let's connect those to the terminals. Pretty simply, you just grab the wire, take a flathead screwdriver and lift up on the terminal, and fit that in until it's seated. Let it down, it should hold. Same thing on the other side. Take the white and the yellow, same thing. It doesn't matter which side they go in, just make sure that you have the white and yellow ones going into the sensor ports. This one didn't seat correctly, so let's go ahead and get that in there again. Straighten that wire real quick. Alright, so those are all set. They're in there tight. Oh, that one is not in there tight. In there good. The next thing we're going to need to do is make sure that this rain sensor switch is set to on. Usually it'll be on off, but once you turn it to on, then the signal will start to be received by the timer and the sensor can do its job. So again, this green wire is not used. You'll want to mount this just right next to your timer, and then make sure it should start receiving power now once you plug the timer back in, and then this sensor you will actually mount on your house and flip that to either rain freeze detection or rain only, following the switch on the bottom, and then you're set to go. And once it starts receiving or detecting any rain or freezing conditions, it will send a signal to this box, which will cut off any scheduled sprinkler times and delay those until the sensor determines that you are again in a dry condition or in a non-freezing condition. So that's our video. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.